Hey, Brandon here. As I write this, the end of the year is approaching, and everywhere I look, people are reflecting on the year and all the games they played, creating lists of the very best. No doubt, it's an exciting time of year. So here I am, reflecting in my own way. And in my infinite wisdom and kindness, what do I think to myself? What did I do wrong this year? Yes, this is the question that got me to sit down and write. And I'm glad I did, because I messed up. I bought a bunch of games on sale. Months ago. Nearly half a year at this point. And I've barely played half of them. And then I bought some more. I try to be intentional about my purchases and about how I spend my time, so what went wrong? How did this happen? What lesson should I be taking away from this? It's time to look inward and see why my behavior failed to stay aligned with my values. This isn't to beat up on myself, of course. It's an unpleasant realization when I see I'm not acting in line with my values, and I'd like to be more consistent there. I bought 4 games at once, just before August, while I was still working through other games I'd already purchased. It's now December. I've beaten 2 of those games, and I've just dipped my toes into the remaining 2. As I said though, I didn't just buy the 4 games and stop purchasing games altogether. I actually bought 5 more games after that. Most of them shorter affairs, but still, that's a lot of games. I finished the second game mere days ago, and I immediately took advantage of some time off to try 2 others. I've been starting to feel the pressure that I created for myself. My to-play list was starting to feel a lot more like a backlog, a burden, preventing me from fully engaging with what I was playing at any given moment. Not a great place to be. The biggest factor at play when I bought the first 4 games is that I thought I'd have more time than I did. It's so easy for me to overestimate how much time I actually have. Basic life stuff can take a shockingly long time. Groceries, cooking, laundry, shifting back to home mode after work, cleaning, showering, whatever. In my head, I too often calculate the time it takes to do the activity without taking into account all the time it takes to wind up and wind down. I'll think to myself that I'll have 2 hours for games tonight because I'm going to move extra fast and knock out everything else first. And often I end up feeling grateful I could even scrape together 1 whole hour for it. There's also the issue of finding the energy to play games, and yes, I know how weird that can sound. Games are something I play for fun, but that doesn't mean it's always easy to take that first step. Sometimes the thought of reading and needing to pay attention to what characters are saying can feel daunting. If I'm playing something really gameplay focused, this tends to be less of an issue, but if it's a text-heavy RPG, for instance, I do find that this issue crops up here and there. I want to play it, I just need more mental bandwidth for it than I have some days. I was recently playing 2 extremely text-heavy RPGs simultaneously, and while I've really enjoyed both, by the time I could actually sit down to play at the end of the day, sometimes it feels like one more thing that is going to take energy rather than give me energy. Also, I blame Terraria. I do. On those days when my brain is mush, the siren call of something familiar and comfortable can be very enticing. And I can go mining for ages in Terraria. I love it. The time just flies by. Oh, look at that. That was all my gaming time. And there it is. Terraria is the enemy of all other games. Too fun, too engrossing. Maybe I should build some sort of death trap money farm. Real quick, if you like what I'm doing here, I would humbly ask you to consider subscribing for more and giving the video a like to tell the world there's value here. Thanks for hearing me out. Now let's get back into it. A big part of being intentional for me is examining my desire to purchase things before I actually spend any money. The prices for all these games were so good, and I'd already been waiting a long time for sales. Many, many months in some cases. There's a childlike joy for me when I buy games. It feels good, the excitement, the anticipation, imagining all the fun I'm going to have in these incredible worlds. Novelty is a powerful lure, and I am not immune to its seductive whisperings. In a way, I kind of set myself up for temptation. I did this to myself by setting up email notifications on price tracker services. The downside to using sales notification services is that if I see a great price for a game in a moment of weakness when my resolve is at a low point, it can be hard to resist. Sometimes I give in even after waiting a day or two. At the very least, I never buy things immediately simply because of a good price, but moments like this can add up. Even if the financial cost is relatively low, the time cost is harder for me to keep in mind. I don't like bouncing between a bunch of different games at once, so without clear expectations about when I'll actually get around to playing a new purchase, I can inadvertently tip the scales toward the dreaded backlog. When I see a game I want to try on sale, sometimes there's this moment of disconnect from reality in my brain. Like, this is the best time there will ever be to get this game. But that is not at all true. I buy almost everything digitally. It's very rare for a digital price to get worse over time. I've been getting near constant emails about sales lately with all the holiday sales going on everywhere, and there's an absolute ton of great looking games that I'd love to play. But I don't have the time now. I know that there are games coming out in the next year that I absolutely want to play. So maybe I should focus on the games I already have, enjoy them, and leave time for my personal must-play new releases when they do come out. I have not overcome consumerism, nor do I seek to. But I do want to be intentional about how I engage with games and ensure that I'm not letting consumerist urges dictate my choices. This is my money we're talking about here, and even more importantly, my time. Having said all this, you might be wondering, do I regret my purchases? Actually, no. Bear with me. I could have been more patient, as time has proven that I did not need to rush to purchase more than half of them. But I do not regret the purchases, nor do I want to waste my time and energy on regret of all things. The prices were quite good, and I still intend to play them all. What's more important to me, though, is I wanted to push outside my comfort zone a little and try new game experiences that had caught my eye. I value new experiences, and my purchases were at least aligned with that, even if I bought them earlier than I should have. Oops. Do you ever find that your gaming habits aren't aligning with your values? I'd love to hear about your experiences in the comments. Ooh, Disgaea 6 is on sale. Wait. Slow your roll. Later. There's no rush. There's no rush. Stay strong. I hope the holiday season is treating you well, and I wish you a very happy new year. Now go find some fun. Peace.